Hi everyone, it's Scrappy Lou here, and I'm just going to be doing a makeup tutorial on restoring your My Child dolls. Here I have a US Puppy Tails, and she has a grape pink makeup combo. She's been washed and cleaned and the hair's been reset. She just needs a touch up of her makeup. As you can see, her lips are faded and her eyelashes are a little bit uneven and they've lost a bit of colour as well. So I'm going to be using pencils and just basically giving her a nice light touch up so that her makeup looks just as new, or just nice and bright anyway. She's a grape pink combo, though in my lighting here it doesn't look very grape, but it is. So I'll be using a few different coloured pencils. I'll be using a pencil which is Palmer Violet for her eyeshadow. I'll be using a cool grey for her eyelashes, and I'll be using a pink for her lips. The original makeup, sometimes you can probably, it's a bit hard to see, you can kind of see a little bit. The eyelashes are kind of a browny colour, and it's got the grape colour behind. This really looks orange, but to the naked eye, not on my camera, it is actually purple, so that's really weird. It doesn't really help you guys, but believe it, it is actually purple. But the eyelashes are actually like a dark brown colour. I find though with retouching makeup, the grey pencil gives the eyelashes a nice definition, and as long as you keep them like the same length as the original and nice and clean, they will still look really good and, you know, almost as like original makeup looks. Excuse me for my squeaky chair. Alright, so basically just to start off with the face, most dolls I have not come across one that goes a different direction, but most dolls the grain of the fabric goes across the face in that direction. You can notice this by when I smooth, when I go that direction, it feels really smooth. But as soon as I pull back, it starts fluffing up a bit. So it kind of goes across the face. So when you're like brushing your doll with maybe like a brush or trying to fluff up their fur, always try and go with the grain, so that way they keep nice and smooth and it doesn't go fuzzy. Keeping this in mind, sometimes the direction of your pencil has to go with the grain no matter what kind of side you're doing. I'll explain that as I go along. Yeah, so she's got pink lips, purple eyes. So I'll start off with the eyes. This eye is actually quite good with definition for eyelashes. Now, because she is a US doll, she has a certain number of eyelashes, and so it's good to, when you're touching up makeup, to try and keep that traditional and keep to that tradition, should I say. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 eyelashes. The very first dolls, the Taiwan dolls, they tend to have only 10 eyelashes. So that's also a way that you can kind of, you know, distinguish between the two, besides the Taiwan's actually having a bit more of a protruding eye. So we've got to make sure we stick with the 11 eyelashes. First of all, I'm going to grab my purple pencil. Now, because the grain of the fabric goes that way, I'm going to go across the fabric in that direction. Now, you can go kind of forward and backwards to kind of give it a bit of a feathered look. But what I'm basically doing is just getting a little bit of colour on the eye. It kind of looks like a line at first, but I'll show you what I'm going to do in a minute. So just get a little bit of colour. Then you want to get like a cotton tip or something like that. And then we want to just really give it a good rub. And that's just going to give it a nice balanced colour. Another way that you can do this is by maybe not having such a sharp pencil. If you have a more blunt pencil, sometimes they're a little bit easier to blend and stuff like that. So I just sharpened my pencil, so I just have to do it this way. So anyway, so we're just blending it in so it's just like a nice eyeshadow colour. Now it's a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to bring it around a little bit. You want to kind of make it a nice kind of even texture all the way around the eye. Now it looks a little bit fuzzy. That's because I've kind of, you know, fluffed the fabric around, but when we do the eyelashes it will all kind of blend in nice and neat. So I'll do the other side as well, and then we'll do all the eyelashes together. So because the grain's going that way, I've got to start from this side of the eye this time and go to the outside. Really light strokes for the eyeshadow, because yeah, if you have too heavier eye thing, it will look too streaky. So it's better just to go lightly and then just slowly build up the colour than to kind of just push really hard and make it all messy. So yeah, put the colour on, go in the direction of the grain of fabric, and then I will get my cotton and blend that in. So it's pretty much same technique, but just different colours with whatever eyeshadow you're doing for the doll. I think if you've got like the browny peachy colour eyeshadow, it's kind of more of a I think they use like a goldenrod or something like that, or like just like a peachy coloured kind of eyeshadow. Yeah, grape tend to use this purple. So charcoal, I would use the grey, the cool grey that we're using for the eyelashes. I'd actually use that as the eyeshadow, and then I would use black as the eyelashes. Alright, so we can still see where the faint outline of the eyelashes are, which is going to be a good guide for us to just try and get them in the right position. Alright, now I'm just going to grab a toothbrush and I'm going to just give her a really good brush over and try and get the grain as smooth as possible on her face, because the smoother it is, the neater your eyelashes will look. So we've got to get it nice and smooth before we put on the eyelashes. This is a really good a toothbrush is a really good tool if you've got a doll with lots of peeling around, like small areas around the eyes and the nose and that. This is a really good way to fluff up the fabric again, so that's a good little thing, and just a little bit, you know, more sensitive around the eyes and stuff like that. Alright, so just brush it right over. Alright, so now it's really nice and smooth. It gives us a nice, good working area. So I've got my charcoal pencil. Now, idea is to have a really nice sharp tip, because the sharper it is, the easier it is to get the definition. Now another tip is actually dampen the tip. So I've got a little bit of water to the side, so I'll just dampen it. Not wet it, just dampen it. So it's better maybe to kind of stick your tip of your pencil in and then just kind of like wipe off the moisture, just so it's just damp, not wet. Alright, so first stroke, so from this eye, I'm going to go, because of the grain, I'm going to go from outwards to in, and then on this eye, I'm going to go from in to out, okay? And we've got to count the lashes so I don't accidentally add any more than what I'm supposed to. Alright, so we get our lightly moistened pencil, and we just go from the corner of the eye. So we go 1, actually, sorry, I've got to go with the grain. So I go actually inwards. Remember to keep the eyelashes only about 2.5 millimeters thick. If they go any longer, then your doll doesn't start looking original. Longer eyelashes means it's going to start looking more like a oak doll, not a original with enhanced makeup. Alright, so we go out to in, and we do probably about 2 strokes. So it's 1, 2, like that. 1. So 1, got 1 over again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we start going from the outside in, inside out. 9, 10, 11. Oh, and now my baby's crying, so hold on a second. Now, my video camera stopped working and I didn't realise, so I've just gone and grabbed another doll so I can show you what I was doing with the eyelashes before my camera stopped and I didn't realise, so, and then I'll go back to the other doll. So just stay with me for a second. So you've got to grab your pencil and you go from outwards to inwards and do a couple of lines. Eight, 9, 10, 11. And when you kind of get to this point, you need to almost go the other direction because, as I said, the grain goes that way. So you could kind of go from the inwards to the outwards, like that. And then on the other side, sorry, well, you can go this way, but you've got to go that direction. That's what I meant. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then go down a bit, 8, 9, 10, 11, like that. So that's basically how you do it. So you go from outwards to in on that side, and then kind of go out, out, out for the last 3, and then that way you go inwards to out, that way, and then kind of down for the last 3 or 4. So that's what I did on this doll to get her eyes like that. Now, my video didn't tape the lips, so I've done her lips, so I'm just going to show you how I did the lips on the other doll. Stay with me.